So, hey everybody, welcome. Thanks so much for jumping on for our, hold on, there we go. For jumping on for our Beachbody Live MasterMind session. So no matter what, you're on this call or watching the playback because you are a Beachbody Live Master Trainer, and maybe you're a graduate, having been certified by myself or Michelle Lassiter or one of our other amazing Beachbody Live Master Trainers. And as we always share with you in our training workshops, our mentoring and guidance doesn't end in your 8-hour training. We plug you into our Facebook groups. We reach out to you through email. You can reach out to us through emailing and Facebook messaging, so we can continue to help develop you and always helping you to level up as a Beachbody Live instructor. So what we're doing today is we're just going to have an open session, but I am going to give you some tips. But at any time, if you want to ask a question or share some ideas of your own, feel free to just take yourself off of mute and jump in at any time. So again, take some notes, get out some pen and paper, but if for whatever reason, maybe you're driving and you can't take notes, be careful driving, and then just watch the playback and go back and take notes. So I want to talk about ways that you can help improve your classes so you can create more of that squad-like, community-like feeling so you can continue to fill up your classes. Because at the end of the day, that's really what our big goal as master trainers is for our graduates is, yes, we want to help you to understand the format that you got certified in, understand how to teach the format safely and effectively and work on your cueing and understand the 3-phase cueing model system. But we also want to make sure that you are filling up your classes so there's more of a demand for you and our Beachbody Live formats, but more importantly, so that you're helping to spread the Beachbody Live experience in your community. So the first tip that I want to make sure that you are always doing every single class is that you're making sure to create a welcoming environment. Please write that down because it's easy to say we're going to get it and you'll just remember it, but we all got too much going on. Create a welcoming environment. Now, I'm going to share with you some ways that I do that, and then I would love for each of you, we've got Mariah, Steve, and Krista on right now. I want each of you to share one tip or one thing that you do in helping to create a welcoming environment in your classes, because we're all learning from one another, right? So a couple ways that I do it is I arrive to my classes 10, 15, 20 minutes early. If there's a class going on before me, I wait in line outside with the rest of my students or members or participants, whatever you want to call them, and I socialize with them. I take the time to scan the line or the people that are outside of my class first, and I meet the people who I don't know, the new people. And I want to introduce myself, ask them what their name is, and I love asking them lots of questions. What brought you here to class today? Have you ever taken a Country Heat or an Insanity or a P90X class before? How long have you been a member at this facility? How close do you live from the gym? Are you here with anyone else? What's your favorite kind of workouts? What other classes have you taken here at the gym? And so I make it all about them versus introducing myself and just talking all about myself. So welcome, I'm the instructor and I teach all these classes here, and you can also follow me on Facebook. No. We want them to feel welcomed. I like to also let them know that I'll give them a little heads up on what equipment they may need or what they need to do when they get into class. And I love to set their mind at ease by letting them know before we get started, I'm going to share with you what this class is going to be all about. I'm going to set the expectations and what you're going to experience. And I just kind of help them to bring their wall down. So they kind of lose a little bit of that anxiety and that nervousness, and they feel a sense of comfort and feeling safe walking into your class. So going around really quick, Mariah, will start with you. And if you can't talk, you can always type in the Zoom chat box. What are 1 or 2 ways that you help to create a welcoming environment in your classes? You can take yourself off mute.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we hear you.
Okay. Kind of like you, I try and talk to every single new person, make them feel welcome. And my group is moms, so I get to know them. I talk about their kids, just being that one-on-one, making sure they feel welcome and always thanking them, after class for coming. So that's ways that I do it. So just being welcome,
Yes.
that one personality.
And don't forget, I talked about, that's a great tip. Don't forget that not only do we want to welcome the new people, but don't forget to show some love to your people that are your ride or die and your loyal to, right? Like, you high five them. Hey girl, how you doing? How was your week? Or hey, I saw on Facebook you guys just came back from Disney. That was awesome. How'd you guys like it? So, you kind of mix it up.
And today, I saw some of my participants getting together, they were making plans. So it's forming that community. So it's kind of, cool because they met in my class. So yeah, so it's kind of like P90X Insanity community. So
yes,
it's a really cool experience.
Thank you. I will share another tip and then we'll go to Steve. This, I feel, I've been doing it for a few months now, and it's really helped to create that tribe-like feeling in my classes. When I have the mic on and everyone's in class and they're all set up, before we get started, before I do the welcome, hey everybody, welcome to P90X, I tell my class, all right, you've got 30 seconds. I want you to go around the room, high five your neighbor, and introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to your neighbor. And I kind of joke around. I use humor and I tell them it's like when you're at church, but this time you're going to like it when you have to turn around or say hi to your neighbor. So that's another way to create that welcoming environment and create that tribe-like feeling. Okay, Steven, you're next to Mariah on my box, so I'll just have you go next. Go ahead, Steve. Uh-oh. He's lost audio. He tries to remember names and try and show up early and talk to the members. He will walk around and talk to each group or members individually. Love it. He's a huge fan of high fives. Yes, he is. And will high five everyone in class as well as tell everyone to high five each other. Yes. It just makes you feel welcome. Remember that people want to be a part of something. And even when they are coming to your classes, they want to feel a sense of belonging. Even the new people. When your new people can feel a sense that they belong here, they're going to keep coming back. Great tip, Steve. Krista, you want to go next?
Sure. Well, I do everything that's been talked about. So I do visit with some of the veterans that are coming to class because they do typically get there a little bit earlier than those that are new. But I do also try to stay toward so our room, the back of the room is the entrance. Mm-hmm. So I try to stay in the back of the room a little bit toward the beginning of class so I can bring some of those people that are kind of hesitant to walk into the room because they're just kind of hanging out by the door to let them feel invited and come on in. And, and then I introduce myself and ask them about them, if they've taken the class before, etc. But yeah, pretty much everything we're talking about is what I try to do every class.
Very cool. Now, how many of you teach your classes, or maybe it's a mix? Do you follow a class that already taught and then you come up after them, or is your class like the first class?
This is Krista. Actually, every single one of my classes I teach is the first class.
Oh, very cool.
I'm there quite early.
Do you play music before everybody gets there?
Yes.
Awesome. Yes. It just kind of sets the tone, right?
Yes, they come in, especially with Country Heat, because I play country music, mm-hmm. and they're all wanting to dance.
Yeah, it just sets them in a good mood, right?
Yeah.
They're like, let's do this. I'm pumped up. Awesome. Anyone else want to share a tip on how you create a welcoming environment in your classes before we move on? Okay. Going once, going twice. Okay, so here's my other tip, or other discussion. We're going to kind of have a little brainstorming about this. And it's about keeping your students, this is important, write it down. If I say that, it's important, write it down. Keeping your students interested and motivated in class. So you've got to keep them engaged. Have you ever taught classes, and it's even happened for me, yes, I'm human, where you can see one or two participants, they check out mentally, right? And so our job as fitness instructors is we're really entertainers, if you think about it. We really are. We don't have the flashy outfits, and we don't make, $1 million like these big artists, but we really are entertainers. And so you have to keep your students interested and engaged with you the entire 50 minutes, 55 minutes, 1 hour, 30-minute class, however long it is. And you've got to keep them motivated. So a couple ways that I keep my classes interested or engaged is I use my humor. I use my strengths. So write that down. Use your strengths. Each of us has different strengths. And some of us might be comparable and have the same strengths, and some of us may not. And that's the beauty of being human. So don't feel that you have to have high energy as a strength. That's, for me, high energy and humor. So high energy and humor are two of my strengths in classes, and those are two ways that I really keep my classes engaged and interested so that they don't check out. And how you keep them motivated is to remember that your job is to inspire and to add value in your classes. I'm not saying that you have to be a master motivator, but you have to work on becoming a master motivator. So I really encourage you to dive into personal development books, to go online and find what courses that you can take on how to really level up as a motivational speaker. There's a great book called TED Talks. Is it TED Talks? No, I lie. Hold on. I'll share the book with you. But it's all about public speaking and how to really engage and motivate the people that listen to you. Because as soon as they check out, they're going to not be 100% in with their workouts. I had one woman literally start going on her phone. I kid you not. And I wanted to die. I wanted to kick her out, to be honest. But she got on her phone. She just totally checked out. So keep your students engaged and motivated. So those are a couple of my tips. Who wants to share some tips on how you keep your students motivated and engaged? I'm going to make you get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone.
Well, I might as well speak. This is Krista. It's a lot easier in Insanity and P90X than it is for me in Country Heat, but I definitely move around the room and try to visit pretty much every little group in the area and do a piece of the workout with them, talking to them, making sure their form is good. And that seems to keep everybody moving. But yeah, Country Heat, I'm not there yet where I can, well, my class is not there yet either. They really need me in the front of the room. And then it comes down to just how I converse with them. I don't think I'm funny, but I definitely try to be.
Yeah. So what would you say are two of your top strengths?
I think I have high energy, definitely. Okay. That would be one of them. And gosh, well, when it comes to, I guess I'm just I'm picky on form. So I'm always watching form, and that's why I go to each kind of group just to make sure that they're safe. Okay. So that would be one of my strengths, I guess.
So I'm gonna challenge you to get out of your comfort zone a little bit in Country Heat, because, and we can talk one-on-one maybe about this later, but with Country Heat, because you show the move, step touch, get them to do it with you, step touch, and then you have a whole 64 count of them doing it. I travel the room and I'm still doing it with them, or just traveling around and creating energy and feeding them my energy, because it's a 64 count. Like, they're going to get it because it's it's on constant repeat. So don't feel like you have to keep planted in the front. I tell my students, I'm going to walk away because I need you to not be dependent on me. I need you to live in the 8 count and just live in it. Stop overthinking it. So we can talk more one-on-one about that, but I can definitely say you can walk around the room with Country Heat for sure. And you can get down and dirty with them and go in the back and dance with them in the back. And by the time you can hear the 8 count when the bell's about to tell you you're done, and go up to the front and show the next move.
Yeah.
So it's not going to
I'll definitely work on it. I know it's a lot easier with the signature round and like the first round because I know them like the back of my hand. But learning the newer rounds, yeah.
You're right. It just you just need to practice it. Just keep practicing it.
Yeah.
But I know you can do it. I want you to have that same feeling that you just said you had with Insanity and P90X with Country Heat too.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anyone else? How do you keep your students engaged and motivated? You're all going to have to talk because I'm going to make you. You're like,
luckily, I was able to find my high-tech person to install a microphone onto my computer. So, but I try to, if I see somebody falling out, and it's happened, especially in Insanity, people get tired. And we've always told them, hey, take a break if you need to take a break, but you need to get back in it. And I see sometimes people like, will take a break, but they'll forget to get back in it. And I'll get right up in their face and say, it's time to go. So, but yeah, it's more one-on-one. I try to be interactive with the students and, challenge them. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yes. Getting up in their face. How many of you, and we'll talk about this more in one of my topics, when you get in front of your students, they push harder, right? They're like, oh my God, here's the instructor. And then as soon as you walk away, they start to die out. They're like, oh my goodness, thank you. They walked away, right? So don't be afraid to challenge your participants. Even if it's a dance format, one of our dance formats, I get right in front of them and I will make them move harder. Like I want to see more sweat coming down from your body. I want to see it coming all the way down into your ankles. So I love that idea of challenging them. Thanks, Steve. Mariah. I just love saying your name, by the way.
Thank you. I always, tell my participants, like, you're not tired, right? And make them say that I'm not tired. The correct answer is no. So, and I get right up, next to them and do the moves with them and just tell them to push a little harder. So, and today I did, round 25 of the suitcase squats. And I told them, this is a suitcase squat. Where are we going on, vacation? And it just kind of lightened the mood. So, yes. So I had a lot of fun teaching P90X, and I kind of feel like P90X is coming a lot more natural and a lot more fun. So
yay, I like hearing that. I love that idea, and I do that too, where you guys don't be afraid to use real life, everyday things that we do to tell a story when you're teaching. Again, no matter what Beachbody format it is, no matter what group fitness format it is, when we're doing squats, I tell them, don't you want that nice big round booty? And they're like shaking their head. Yes. So ask them questions, because all of a sudden they'll be like, yes. You tell them, didn't you want those nice sculpted legs? Because it's, triple digit heat and we're putting on shorter shorts as we're walking into Walmart and Target. And they'll shake their head yes, or smile or giggle, but you'll see them also squat a little lower or jump a little higher if it's Insanity, or, just give a little extra something. Same thing if they're doing upper body. Or maybe block 2 if you're an Insanity instructor, or the strength from Country Heat. And we're doing something with the arms or plank work. And you're like, you guys, it's tank top season. We want those nice toned and sculpted back and shoulders, right? And all of a sudden they're like, yes, okay, couple more reps. I'm not going to stop, couple more reps. So don't be afraid to infuse what we do in everyday life to remind them, this is why we're doing this, because ... That's awesome. Anybody else want to share anything? This is fun. At least I think it's fun. Okay. Okay, here's my next tip. Making sure that as an instructor, especially a Beachbody Live instructor, we want to have a good reputation. that you are always prepared and organized. So I don't know if you saw me share this in our group page where I took a picture, a snapshot of what I keep in a little plastic bag that I got from traveling. And that is where I put all of my batteries. That's where I put my windscreen, my bacterial wipes, my auxiliary cord. I even have my iPod with backup music. Always be prepared, because when you walk into class, you just don't know what to expect. You know, sometimes I'm the first class in the morning, and sometimes I come after class has been taught. And all of a sudden, I really think it's because of me. Sometimes I just have that bad juju. You walk in, the auxiliary cord's not working, the Bluetooth isn't syncing up, all of a sudden the mic is dead, and there's something wrong with the cord. You just always need to be calm, cool, and collected, and not lose your shit, so to speak, and just be very professional. Carry yourself as the professional that you are, and just move on to a plan B. And Steve, you were with me when it happened. Wasn't it this weekend? Or it was this week. I know for sure. When all of a sudden the Bluetooth wasn't syncing up, and I think it was Saturday.
It was Saturday morning.
Yeah. Perfect example. First class in the morning, music. I had the music playing before the students came. And then I hit one button. It totally took me out of Bluetooth, and it would not sync up. Everybody had to start the warm up without any music because we were on the clock. We had to get going. And I just had to keep it cool, keep talking on the mic to keep them engaged, as we talked about. And, you know, Steve came over to help me out, and I don't know what we did or what, you know, buttons we pushed, but all of a sudden it started working. So just be prepared. Always be the polished instructor that you are. Don't lose your SHIT in front of your students when something goes wrong, and just kind of troubleshoot. Just troubleshoot. Okay. Any tips that you guys want to share on how you prepare for your classes and stay organized? I'd love to hear them. You guys can't see each other because none of you are on video, so nobody knows who's to go first. Just take yourself off mute.
Okay, well, I don't have any tips, but I definitely go through a checklist before I walk out of my door to make sure I have the essentials. Because you know what, the iPhone 7, you need to have, which I do have it on my list, I need to have an option, like another iPod or something for class, but I bring my iPad with as well. But you know, the iPhone 7, you need to have that little
aux thing. Yeah.
doohickey thing.
Yes. Yes, I have that. And I know exactly what you mean.
I hate it. So I have a few of those in my bag just in case.
Smart.
But yeah, if I would have known about that when I got the phone, I probably would have kept my 6.
I'm with you. I was like, wait a minute, you can't put your auxiliary cord straight into the phone? No, not if you have an iPhone 7.
No.
And they're so tiny, they're easily losable. You can lose them.
Exactly. And you can't charge and have your phone hooked up to the stereo system at the same time.
Thank you. Which is why sometimes I have to charge my phone and then go on Bluetooth. Otherwise, the phone's going to die and I can't teach my class.
Yeah.
Which is why you got to have backup. So in case of emergency, I've got the iPod. I love that checklist, Krista. I'm going to have to make sure I have a checklist. Anybody else before we move on? Okay. So here is another tip. As an instructor, I'm going to challenge you guys, and this is how I'm going to challenge you. For the next 2 weeks, I want you to try, and I know you guys are crazy busy, but I want you to take other instructors' classes. Doesn't have to be Beachbody. I don't care if it's Zumba, cycling, a body pump class. I want you to take other classes, learn something to do from that instructor, and maybe something not to do if they were not that great, right? But we're always ABL, always be learning. We're always a work in progress. If you ever come across any instructor who thinks that they have it all together and they're like the shiz niz, I'm sorry, that is false. Okay, that is all ego. We are all a work in progress, and we can all learn from each other. And I love, if you follow me on Facebook, you see me, you know, I'm taking cycling or I've taken this class. I love learning from other instructors. Sometimes I learn what not to do, right? Truth. And then sometimes I'll just be in awe. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just love the way that, you know, they showcase that move, or the way they cued something, or the way that they motivated the participants. And I'll take that nugget and I'll try to change it a little bit so it's more me, and then apply it in my classes. So I'm going to encourage you guys, starting today, you are going to, for the next 2 weeks, try to take as many other instructors' classes as you can. I want you to tag me on Facebook, only on Facebook. I can't do Facebook and Instagram. I just can't. You will have me going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But I want you to tag me. And every time you take another class that is not your own, I'm going to put you into a raffle drawing, and somebody's going to win some Instructor Beachbody swag. True. And this is coming from me personally. And this is because I want to help you to learn from other people aside from your master trainers or mentors. Sound good? You guys up for the challenge? You guys up for it?
I'm in.
You bet.
Okay. Even if you're watching the playback, you're in on this too if you want to. Just tag me in your post. You've got to tag me in it. Otherwise, I won't see it. Okay. 2 more things and we're done. My next tip for you is this. As a Beachbody Live instructor, know your stuff. Now, I know that when you get certified with us, I know I can speak for me and Michelle. You know, we do encourage you, if you're brand new to the format and brand new to instructing, it can be a little overwhelming learning the choreography, or learning all the drills, or learning all the exercises. And so you've heard us share, and I have no shame in it, there's nothing wrong with it, in getting a quarterback wristband. You can find them for super cheap, less than $20 on Amazon. And it's literally a quarterback wristband that the football players use, and you can write your notes of the choreography or the workout, and then have it there on your wrist. Versus, I've seen, you know, instructors carry big pieces of paper or Post-it notes. That's just too much. But so can that quarterback wristband. The quarterback wristband is there as a backup, okay? Just like your big notes or your Post-it. At some point, if you've been teaching that same round for 3 weeks, you should get rid of that wristband or get rid of your notes. I want you guys to live and breathe and know that round like the back of your hand. And here is why. When you are just constantly using your wristband or your notes or your big Post-its, it makes you look like you don't know your stuff. It makes you look a little unprepared coming into class. It makes you look a little less polished as a fitness instructor. So know it, live it, breathe it. Okay? I'm not going to lie. When something is brand new to me, I have index cards that I use because I don't like my wristband anymore. And I'll fold it up really tiny. You can hardly tell I have it in my hand. But you'll only see me with that index card for the first class. When I'm teaching it the second and third time, I live and I breathe it and I know those moves like the back of my hand. So again, we want to look like, going back to what I talked about earlier, that we really took the time to prepare for this class. And your preparation shows in you knowing all your choreography or all your drills and all your exercises. So if that means that you have to spend a little more time practicing and, you know, a couple more hours a week making sure that you know your stuff, then so be it. But would you rather take a class with an instructor that lives and breathes the format that they're teaching, or that instructor that makes those awkward pauses to glance at their notes? Am I right?
I'll add on to that a little bit because somebody had mentioned to me that I need to ditch the wristband.
That was me.
Nameless. And I have noticed that, I mean, when you're teaching and you're addicted to the crutch, it's not as fluid. You know, it's just you going in there and you're always going back to the card just out of habit. And, you know, at some point you just need to toss it and say, okay, well, I got this, you know, and you do. And it's a lot more fluid when you teach without the cards, well, at least without always referencing the cards, without forever looking at your hands for the next move. So
I love that. I love that you shared that, Steve. Thank you. And that's so true. It just makes everything feel more fluid. Otherwise, you have like these weird, awkward pauses. And I'm going to share a real example with you. When I was showcasing Core to Force back in January, I was part of the beta test group, and I was doing some master classes for Core to Force. We were just testing it out, seeing what was working and what wasn't. And I had a quarterback wristband because I was teaching so many formats and then added on Core to Force that even going into my first master class, I still wasn't 100% prepared. And I felt just so awkward, constantly looking at my notes, and I threw myself off. There was always these moments of awkwardness where I'm like, okay, wait, okay, and your next move is. So you're right. It just makes it very more fluid and helps the class to continue on without like the jerking in between with the, and all right, here we go. Okay. So that was great stuff. Thank you, Steve.
Very welcome.
We're all, if you have a quarterback wristband, just like back in the day when they burned them bras, I want you to burn that wristband. Burn it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. All right. Here's my last tip for you is don't forget that when you're in class, whether it's during the warm-up or during the cool down, help to connect with your participants by getting them to learn more about you. So I'm going to challenge you again, but you're not going to post it on Facebook. The only prize giveaway challenge is you're taking other instructors' classes. But I really am going to challenge you, and I would love to hear your feedback on this. I would love to hear how this worked. Is every time you teach, I want you to drop a fun fact about yourself with your students. Why? It helps to bridge a connection. So, you know, for sometimes, it's not really a fun fact, but I share about myself that I suffer from depression and anxiety. And I tell my participants, fitness is my antidepressant. But because I share that I suffer from depression and anxiety, I can see in the crowd that, you know, many of my participants are shaking their heads up and down because they can relate. Does that make sense? Some of them aren't relating because they don't suffer. Some do. Other times I talk about, you know, guys, for those of you that don't know, I have 5 kids, and you can see some people's eyes get big. And then other mommies now feel like they have more of a connection with me because we're all moms. We all deal with kids on a day-to-day, 24/7 basis. So now we've got that connection. You know, other times I give them a fun fact that, hey, you know, back in the day I was an athlete and did track and cross country. Oh, all of a sudden now I've got a connection with those that, you know, were into sports in high school and college. So I really encourage you to, it goes back to what I talked about earlier in helping your students to engage with you. Share a fun fact about yourself. Every time. And I promise you, you can always come up with something. It's not going to be the same material, but share a fun fact about yourself, whether it's during the warm up or now you're cooling down and it's after you've congratulated them and you told them great job. Share something that just feels organic and naturally you, and share that with them. I want to hear you guys now. Share a fun fact with me right now about yourself that you can share in your class. We'll start with you, Krista.
Oh, yikes. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I do share in my class that my daughter's almost 20.
What?
And that's the reaction they get. What? Or I'll have somebody say, they'll overhear me say, did you just say your daughter's going to be 20? You're way too young to have a 20-year-old daughter.
See that? But what an inspiration now. You just went higher up on their pedestal because they look at you like, ah, right?
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice. I like having a 20-year-old.
I never knew that. That is an awesome fun fact about you.
Thanks.
Mariah, what's a fun fact about you?
I don't know. That's hard. Like, I'm easier talking to like one-on-one with the participants, but like sharing with the whole group. I mean, like insanity, is what set me up to lose like 30 to 40 pounds. Like, if it wasn't for insanity, I don't think it would have given me that motivation to start my fitness journey, like be absolutely committed to it. So insanity gave me that start. And I don't always share that in all the classes. So
Okay, so you're going to be challenged to share that at your next class collectively and not individually.
okay.
Okay, and it's going to help you to get out of your comfort zone even more, so that it'll start coming naturally to you, and you'll feel more comfortable with it as you keep doing it. I promise you.
Because I'm more like ask them questions and not always talk about myself. Like, that's what's hard. Like, I'd rather get to know them than them get to know me. But
see, if they don't know you, they're not going to connect with you.
True.
And I want you guys to remember this formula when you're teaching. It's the same thing on social media. People have to know, like, and trust you before they become ride or die followers. And the same thing applies in your classes. They have to get to know you so that they can like you. And when they like you, they will trust you. They will go to all of your classes. They will tell everybody they know about you and invite them to your classes. And then one day you can post about you're doing a class in the parking lot at Costco, and all these people will show up because they know, like, and trust you. So
Right.
It's not that you're being selfish or conceited, or you want the platform to be about you, but you've got to help people to connect with you so they can get to know you and like you. You up for the challenge?
Yep, I'll try and do it tomorrow.
Don't try, just do
Okay,
it.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Now I'm going to come down on you hard. No, you're one of my graduate.
I know.
No
I
trying, just do. What does Yoda say? I don't know what the hell he says, but it's something like that.
No, I'll do it in my insanity class tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Because when you say it with conviction and you really believe it, you're going to be more likely to do it and achieve it, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Steve?
Fun. I don't know. I'm not a very fun guy.
Interesting.
So, well, I guess really, just kind of thinking of various things. I was like, okay, so I started my fitness journey. Well, not really started, but I spent over 20 years of my life smoking probably 2 packs of cigarettes or more, and was over 300 pounds. And, my journey started by being challenged to hike down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. So since that time, I've done that. Oh, geez, how many times? Well, I've done a rim to rim 3 times. I've been down 4 or 5 times. I've hiked just about every peak there is in Phoenix. So, I've made some strides forward. So, yeah. So I guess that would be my thing.
That's something you need to share on Facebook too. Like, that is huge. You were 300 pounds and you were a smoker of 2 packs a day.
Oh, yeah.
That is so inspiring. That is something you need to let people know from the mountaintops and on the Grand Canyon. Like, see, even I didn't know that, and I'm your mentor. Like, you need to be sharing that. It helps people to relate and connect, and then they say, oh my gosh, look at Steve. If he can do it, and now he's an insanity instructor and leading classes and co-teaching, there is hope for me. I know that I'm not a hopeless case. I know that if I stay consistent and keep coming to these classes, then I can have a testimony just like Steve.
Amen.
Take it to church. I love it. So I want to hear you say that and share that next Monday.
Yep.
Awesome. I love it. All right, you guys. Well, unless you have any questions, I can open it up. If you have questions or you want some guidance or advice on something, I'd love to help answer them now, because we can all. I can't, oh my gosh, I had a moment and not one of you helped me with it because you can't see me. None of you are on video. I had like that look on my face like I was playing Pictionary. We can all get something from each other's questions. So if you guys want to ask anything, now's the time to ask.
Nina? Can
Yes.
you hear me? Hi, it's Lauren. It's a question to something somebody had posted on Facebook the other day about the live videos. One time I was taking a class and a student wanted to video and another student got really upset. And the other student said, oh, don't worry, I'll video around you. And the other student, it was a big blow up. How do you tell the class you're going to video them without, people saying no? Because it's so important to show videos,
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. So if I personally am going to go Facebook Live, I let my students know before class gets started. So during the welcome, hey everybody, welcome. Hey, heads up, I'm going to go Facebook Live for one of our blocks. If you don't want to be on video, raise your hand, or they'll let you know, and then I just won't record them. But I will share this with you guys. If you're going to go Facebook Live, the video should be more on you teaching the class versus your students. Obviously, you're going to have students probably in the background and things like that, but let them know you're going to record and try to have the video on you because it's going to work in a couple ways. One, that's video that you can look back later on and look at your form and technique and listen to yourself on how you cued and look at your range of motion. And then that's feedback on how you can make yourself better or look at things that you need to improve on for your next class. And two, it's going to help to motivate people to see you in action teaching so they can see you showing and teaching different options and say, oh my gosh, I can totally take this class. I love her energy, or I love his energy. I love the way that they demonstrated the different options for those exercises. I want to go. So, there's different ways to go around it, but letting them know first for privacy reasons that you're going to go live. And if you don't want to go live, raise your hand or let me know if you're uncomfortable so I can make sure that you're not in the video. That help?
Okay. Yeah, it does. And then do you have any tips? It looks so challenging to video yourself and teach at the same time. Like, that's like the craziest multitasking. Do you have any tips for doing that? Because you'll talk into the camera and then teach and then show your participants. And that just looks really hard.
It's not. It just takes practice. So for me, I can only go live if I use my husband's phone. So it's good to have your music first on something that's backup so that you can actually use your phone. So like for me, I can't use my phone if it's plugged into the auxiliary cord or on Bluetooth and then record. That doesn't work. Number two is, I know you guys can't see me on video. Next time, make sure you're on video on Zoom. This is my phone case. It's a zero gravity phone case. So I put this on the mirror and I can record myself teaching. It just holds my phone up in place and I press record to go Facebook Live. And boom, I can just start teaching.
Okay.
Just remember when you're going Facebook Live for Beachbody compliance reasons, do not go Facebook Live for your entire classes, you guys. You can go Facebook Live for maybe a block or 30 minutes. If you want to go, I will tell you this, how to skate around it. If you are a Beachbody coach or you have a private Facebook group, you can go full out for the entire class in a private group setting. But if you're going to go publicly on your pages and things like that, keep it to one block or keep it to 30 minutes. And that's just to keep Beachbody Light compliance happy.
Okay.
Did that help answer your question, Lauren, though, about how to record yourself?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. I'll send you guys, I'll look for the link on how to get that phone case. It literally costs, I think, like $16-18. And it is amazing. You don't have to, use your hands or anything like that. You just stick it on to a flat surface, preferably like glass or something with metal. But in our case, if we're teaching in a group fitness room, on the mirrors, and boom, it'll hold it for you. It's like a weightless tripod.
Sounds good.
Okay. Awesome. There was an awkward pause. I'm like, awkward. All right, you guys. Any other questions?
How would you...
Yeah, go ahead.
How would you promote core de force? Like, because I've been mentioning it. So how would you promote it? Like, what are your tips for a new format that you're going to be teaching?
Well, you definitely need social media images.
Okay.
You can, if you're trying to promote locally at your fitness facility, creating a flyer
Okay.
help as well, because then that's something tangible that your members can take at the front desk, or you can pass out at your classes so that they can have. And also creating a Facebook event page will help you to invite people, and showcasing some of the core de force live, not to be confused with the core de force home program snippets and videos.
Okay.
So that
And
people know what core de force is all about. Because if you think about it, like I reached out to a gym in Tucson about doing a core de force masterclass, and she wrote me back saying she's not interested in a core class. I'm like, what? Like, it's MMA kickboxing with a block that's core centric. Like, I think you've got it confused on what it is. So, letting people know that it's an MMA style class where you have kickboxing, boxing, and Muay Thai, where everything is focused on your core and shredding inches off of your core. But it is definitely MMA.
Okay. And you're going to be a great promoter too. So.
Oh, thank you. I feel like since November of last year, when I was part of, getting on with core de force, I've been like promoting the heck out of it too much. I'm like over promoting it now. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done promoting. But yeah, let me know if you need help or have questions. Okay. And I have some images, and I can send you flyers and things like that too.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm just meaning in a couple weeks you'll be in Flagstaff, right?
Yeah, well, I'll be in Flagstaff for the masterclass July 24th.
Okay, in a couple weeks.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yay! Yeah, we'll come up with some stuff to promote.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Did you guys have fun? Was this valuable? I think that's the biggest question I want to make sure that we touch on. If you guys felt like this was of value, because you're taking time out of your Tuesday. Is it Tuesday nights? Monday night? I can't keep up. Monday night. Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. All right, you guys. So we talked about creating a welcoming environment, how to keep your students interested / engaged and motivated. We talked about remember to be that Beachbody Live instructor that is always prepared and organized. Your challenge for the next 2 weeks is to take other instructors' classes and make sure that you tag me with a picture of you in that class, or a sweaty picture finishing that class, so you can be entered into our drawing to win drawing. I can't even talk. It's late. I'm done. To win some instructor swag. Maybe I'll get you some new swag from Summit in New Orleans. And then also making sure that as an instructor, you know your stuff. So we're saying we're going to ditch our notes. We're going to ditch the quarterback wristband. We're going to live and breathe the format that we teach. And making sure that whether it's during the warm-up or the cool down, we're sharing fun facts with our participants so they can start to know, like, and trust us. I am done. I am checking out. All right. Know that you can always reach out to me privately on Facebook, and we can always schedule one-on-one Zoom chats or phone calls. I just want to make sure that I help you guys any way I can to continue to fill up your classes and to be the very best Beachbody instructor you can be, so that you give people an amazing experience when they come to work out with you. So thank you guys so much for jumping on and watching the playback. Get out of here. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.